The Glock pistol is one of the most purchased handguns in the world, but it's also one of the most returned handguns in the world. So we're going to take a look at this top 6 reasons why it's the most returned handgun in the world. The Glock pistol is by far one of the most popular handguns, and why not? It's proven to be one of the most durable, reliable, and accurate handguns there are, and extremely affordable to top it off. More so, police departments and militaries around the world use this gun more than any other. Concealed carriers around the world use this gun. And it's kind of one of those guns that you either love it or hate it. So why are people returning Glock? Why are there so many hundreds of thousands of people just returning their Glocks all over this country? Whereas you'd think if it's the most reliable, durable, and accurate handgun at that price, why aren't they keeping it? Well, we're going to take a look at the top 6 reasons people are returning their Glocks. Now, I do want to say before I get into this that most of these returns are because it was the most purchased. There was millions of new gun owners. Most of them received advice from friends and relatives that said, you need to go buy a Glock. So they took that advice, and most of the returns revolve around those types of people. So here's the top 6 reasons for those returns. Number 1, no innovation. Ultimately, what you have is you have the same gun repeated over and over and over again over the decades. Right now, Glock on their website is marketing 66 different types of handguns. All of them are pretty much the exact same gun. As far as innovation goes, they look the same. They perform the same. They work the same. Ultimately, what you have is there are variations in sizes and calibers, but it's kind of like if Sig Sauer made the 320 and that's all they made. That was the only gun, but they were marketing as like 60 different guns. You change the size, you change the caliber, and now you got a whole different gun. Is ultimately what Glock has done from the Glock 17. The only innovation that they have had at all was the 22LR. Rimfire is a very different gun, but it's not very innovative, but it is different. We'll give them that. So really a big reason that people have a problem with Glock is that they're just not very innovative. Now, I would like to add that obviously, why change perfection if you have a gun that is performing flawlessly? Why change it? But in the end, you got to kind of meet that growing need, because as guns change and desire for new features change, you need to change as well. Number 2, let's just be honest. They're not very attractive guns. Many people refer to them as ugly. They're just kind of a blocky looking gun. I've heard many people say they're slightly better looking than a High Point, but that is true. I hate to say it, but many people shop for guns based on how they look. I'm one of them. Obviously, performance goes firsthand. But beyond that, I am interested in how it looks, and a lot of other people are as well. I personally like the look of a Glock. I've never really hated it. I don't think it's necessarily fancy or beautiful, but I wouldn't call it ugly, but a lot of people do. And its appearance is definitely one of the number 1 reasons people are returning that gun. Number 3, the Glock culture. I want to speak a little bit to the Glock culture because it's the only gun I know of in the world that if you insult it, you get a ton of people mad. People very much love people who love Glocks, they really love their Glocks. And a lot of that is why people don't like Glock. As I've asked people, why don't you like Glock? A lot of times they say because everybody loves Glock. It's kind of one of those things where if everybody loves it, you begin to not like it so much yourself. And really, when you have a culture revolving around a gun that says this is the best thing in the world, and you can only have this, which is really ultimately what made people, I think, upset and returned it, is that was the advice they got. And then they went and bought it. And then they learned about guns, and there were so many other better options for them personally, that it kind of, that whole culture of, well, it's the only thing you should get, really kind of made them think, I don't like this gun. I think I'm going to return it. Number 4, the plastic gun. Let's just face it. There's a lot of people that just simply can't get the past the fact that it's got a polymer grip. Obviously, it sustains its test of time. It's super durable. There are militaries and polices around the world that have put tens and tens and tens of thousands of rounds through these guns, and they work great all the time. More so, almost every gun manufacturer is picking up some sort of a polymer handgun, so it's clearly not a problem. It's a perceived problem, though. There's many people that just can't get past it. And when they bought that gun, like they got the advice, hey, you need to go get a Glock, and they did. They might not have known that it was plastic when they bought it. And there's a lot of people that just simply can't get past that. I know people personally, my brother, for example, he will never buy a polymer handgun, ever, regardless of how great it may or may not be. It's just something people just have a hard time getting past. Number 5, there is no thumb safety. This was probably one of the biggest reasons people did return the Glock, was the fact that they didn't realize it didn't have a thumb safety. You know, it's something that I struggle with personally and have for years, is that I'm not a big fan of a single action only handgun with no thumb safety. I obviously have carried Glocks, I've owned Glocks, and I've owned other guns that are in that category, but I would prefer either a first round double action pull or every single pull double action, or a thumb safety. Those are kind of a parameter that I think a lot of people have, and especially if you're and again, I'm a work in progress. It's something I just got to get past. So, I know you're going to say, well, triggers is safety. I hear you. I hear you. I'm a work in progress. But what I will say is that for the millions of Americans who this was their first gun, you don't want to put somebody's first gun to be a gun without a manual safety that is single action only, striker fired. This is not a good idea. And that's why it was really the biggest reason why most people return their gun, especially new gun owners, return that Glock, was because of no manual safety. And finally, number 6, they don't make a micro compact. I mean, let's just face it, they don't. You could say, well, wait, the 43X. No. Now just think about it for a second, because the first micro compact, 9mm micro compact, was a SIG P365. And ultimately what you're dealing with is you're dealing with a handgun that's just a little over an inch thick, just barely over 4 inches tall, and you're packing in 12+1 rounds. It's fantastic. Glock responds with the 43X, which is, it's over 5 inches tall. Let's just face it, it's a much larger gun. It's well over an inch thick, and it holds 10+1. This is a big deal. They don't make a micro compact. I mean, I know you're going to argue they do, but they don't. They don't make anything like what everybody else is making and calling it a micro compact. We're talking about a 12+1 capacity with just over an inch thick and just over 4 inches tall is what you should be after. When you get over 5 inches tall and well over an inch thick, and you're still only getting 10 rounds in there, this is no new technology. This is old stuff. Glock needs to step up and make a micro compact. And let's just face it, the micro compacts are the number one reason people are trading in all their guns, because they desire micro compacts. There's people trading in all sorts of different guns so they can then get a hold of that micro compact. And until Glock figures that one out, people are just going to be returning them for other micro compacts. So there you go. There's what I believe to be the 6 reasons people are returning their Glocks. Again, it's a perceived thing. Most of these things, I'm not hating on Glocks for you Glock culture people that just hate it when people say anything negative about Glock. That's not what this is. But it is a reality. Glock is the number 1 return handgun, but at the same time, it's also the number 1 purchase handgun. So there you go. Any thoughts or insight? Definitely put that below. Do want to take a moment and say that most people watch this channel, they're not subscribers. Take a moment, hit that subscribe button. It greatly increases the algorithm and our ability to get these messages out. That link is below. But the most important part of the channel, we take prayer requests, and never hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, and love guns.